What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Action Sunday. And as promised, I was going to go back to the Stallone well, and I wanted to review this movie, Demolition Man. Now, believe it or not, I had this reviewed on my channel some time ago, but no. What happened was I had originally set to be back. I think it was like 2019. It was like a couple weeks before I left for Virginia. That was gonna be the week, but instead, like, for some reason, it never came to fruition. And instead, I put out Keeping Up with the Joneses. And so what happened was, I guess Demolition Man just fell by the wayside, and nothing ever came from that. So finally, let's go back to the well with this one. So I wanted to strike while the iron is hot, because apparently there was a story that resurfaced, and it turns out that there's going to be a Demolition Man 2 in the works, which Stallone said that like they really wanted to do this. I go, okay, that's an interesting take, and I'm interested, and it had me scratch my head. I'm like, okay, so a sequel to this 1993 hit. Well, I wouldn't say it's a hit. This movie was kind of like it has a bit of a cult following, even though like it's like one of those movies that, like, it's so far-fetched out there that when you look back at it, it's like, wow, how right on the ball, or how funny how things turn out, what was laid out in the Demolition Man movie. So for those of the uninitiated, so the movie follows a guy named John Spartan. He's an LAPD cop / detective, and he's going after this criminal named Simon Phoenix, played by Mr. Tax Evasion himself, Wesley Snipes. Sorry, I had to get that joke out of my system. I had that planned out. But anyway, so somehow he gets him. He's convicted, and of course he's cryogenically frozen. Both of them end up getting cryogenically frozen for reasons. And then they get thrown out in the year 2032, where things, quite frankly, have changed a lot. Like, now the police force doesn't use guns. I'm like, wow, how on the ball is that? Thank you to fund the police movement. So you guys got your wish. And then, of course, also, like, a cursing, like, you get fined for. I'm like, wow, what a bunch of softies. So, wow, it's like, this movie is, like, just kind of predicted some things for the future, except for the Taco Bell thing. I'm like, out of all of the fast food chains that this movie predicts that would survive, Taco Bell last, well, yay and nay, because, one, I hate Taco Bell. Their shit is so disgusting. I just makes me laugh because of all the E. coli bullshit that happened behind the scenes with that. But of course, according to the creators and the writers, they were trying to get almost some kind of fast food chain to be part of the story. And it's like everyone bowed out, and they're like, no. And Taco Bell was like, no, we'll jump in, we'll do it. So I'm like, so there you go. That's why you have that product placement. And I'm like, wow, just makes me just laugh with all this nonsense that really happens. But outside all this stupid socio-political bullshit, the action and star power really bring it home. Like, outside of Snipes and Stallone, you also got a young Sandra Bullock, who, believe it or not, at this point her stock was already on the rise. She had just put out, I believe, the first Speed movie, and of course the second Speed movie was already in the works. I think this movie just came out in between, and that it's that 90s good period of like, oh look at what the good stuff that 20th Century Fox is putting out, and kind of stuff. Outside her, let's see, what shocked the heck out of me to see was Rob Schneider was in this. I was like, wow, of all the guys. But here's the thing, he's got an uncredited role. It's like, why an uncredited role? Because I guess Rob Schneider didn't want to be associated with a project that looked like it was going to flop. Well, it kind of did flop, but at the same time, this movie still has a bit of a following. And I've seen this movie maybe a few times, but man, like, the action is just insane and intense. Also, a bit of an interesting tidbit is that the hairstyle that Wesley Snipes had in this movie, he hated so much that once he was done filming, like, he completely shaved his entire head because he did not like this look. But it did inspire a certain NBA superstar to copycat this hairstyle. If you want to know who that is, take a look at the NBA scene at that time. So who do you think would have copied a hairstyle like that? Come on. Dennis Rodman. Come on, I was gonna let you guys figure it out yourself, but I was just gonna come out and say it. But anyway, back to this thing at hand. I mean, I've seen this again in fresh eyes, but of course, just it still makes me laugh. But of course, there's still like a couple of unanswered questions, which begs the question: is okay? Do I really want to see a sequel that can follow up? Like what now? So, are we going to see an elderly looking John Spartan in the sequel? And also, how you explain Simon Phoenix? Because spoilers ahead, Simon gets frozen and crushed to death in the final act. So yeah, he's dead. That's deader than dead when it comes to over the top villain deaths, in my opinion, of everything that I've seen on this channel. So just saying, how you come back from that? I've heard rumors that like the story should be like he should get cloned. I'm like, cloning really? All right, maybe who knows? They're just gonna throw shit at the wall, see what works. Again, like there's a lot of things left on the table where they can take and improve off of and make a good sequel, but only time will tell if we ever see that. But I look after everything that I've seen throughout the course of this movie, I feel like this is definitely one of Stallone's good work, but I wouldn't say it's his worst, okay? I've seen some of his worst stuff, but of course, only time will tell. Maybe eventually I will get to a best of Stallone movie someday, but so far I find this movie to be like, it's one of those so cool, even though it's even though you can tell like something wasn't going to work out, but there's still a fall into this movie, and people still come back to it and watching it. I mean, it was on TV about a week or so ago, so yeah, and people still love it and watch it because it's, come on, how can you not love Stallone in anything that he does? I mean, come on, I've reviewed our Stallone stuff on this channel, so yeah, it's one of those movies I think will be a masterpiece further down the line. And to me, it's far from that, but there's still some things that I feel like they should iron out, and then maybe it would have been better, okay? Outside of John Spartan, then, of course, Sandra Bullock's characters, but, of course, again, like, it was so weird. It's like they were trying to half-ass this romance angle. I'm like, but it's so weird. It's like Stallone's, like, pushing, I think it was pushing 40 at the time of this movie, and then of course Sandra Bullock was like half his age. I'm like, it's so weird, but maybe they could have made something work out of it. Who knows? But outside of that grandstanding and all that nonsense, it's still a fine movie. I say give this movie a watch if you can get your hands on it. So with that in mind, I'm going to give Demolition Man, I'm going to give it a 7.5, okay? I wanted to give it a little much of a higher ranking, but I feel like this is above average. It's better than what you expect. It's a good popcorn flick. Everything is there. And I feel like, again, give it over time, I think it'll still be a classic further down, all right? And if we do get Demolition Man 2 sequel, I'm all for it, okay? So that does for this week. Let me know what you think. I want to hear your thoughts on the Demolition Man 2 sequel. Thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for some more awesome and exciting content.